Welcome everybody to our first try at virtual learning. Today we're going to be going over lesson 8.1, and which is all about shapes. We're going to start with some circles. The supplies that you're going to need today are a pencil, paper, and a math book. Now, this lesson has two different videos. The second video, you'll need all the same supplies plus a few more, but don't worry about that now. Right now, I want you to get your thinking hats on, and we are going to talk about these solids. I want you to identify the name of each solid. Remember, there are some of them are called prisms, and others are called pyramids. So name the shape. Then I want you to name the number of faces. Remember, the faces are the flat surfaces. Find the number of edges. And then finally, the number of vertices, where the corners of each of the shapes. Go ahead and pause the video now, answer the questions, and then when you start the video back up, we'll go over the answers. All right, so the first one was a cube. You probably typically wouldn't call it a cubal prism. You just call it a cube. You can forget the prism part on that one. This one had 6 faces. There's the 1, 2, 3, 4, and then there's one in front, and then finally the one in back. Those are all squares, which is what makes it special. That's the cube. Next, we have the edges, where if you look at this front one, there's 4 edges obviously in this square, and there's 4 edges behind it. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So that gives us a total of 8, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 is a total of 12 edges. Now we look at the vertices, or sometimes like to call them corners. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we have the same in the back. Now our bottom figure, that one is a rectangular prism, also has 6 faces. Every single one of those faces are rectangles. It also has 12 edges and 8 vertices. So hopefully that got you thinking, and we'll head off to the next one. All right, who can tell me, why is the ocean so salty? Because the sky never waves back. Then today's Daily Nugget is the most common mammal in the United States is, wait for it, take a guess, it's the common house mouse. All right, what we're going to be focusing on today is how to find the diameter and the radius of a circle. That's going to be the first video. Then the second video is going to be about finding the circumference of a circle, and you'll need a few more supplies. If you have those, that'd be great. We'll talk about those a little bit later in the next video. Here is our vocabulary for today. The first one: circle, center, circumference, diameter, radius, and this special word, pi, also written as a symbol just like this. And if you turn to page 613 of your math book, I'm going to have you go through, read these, and then fill in the blanks. I will put up the answers here for you. As soon as you are finished, as soon as you're ready, press pause, and then when you finish, go ahead and press play again. Okay, so here are our answers. Our diameter is the line here that goes all the way across. Our radius goes from the center point to the outside edge of the circle. And there we have the center point. Some of you may have noticed that the relationship between the diameter and the radius is the diameter is twice as much as the radius. Then the relationship between the circumference and the diameter of the hula hoop, we're going to discover that more, but those of you that said anywhere, I'd say between 2 and 4 times as much. So once again, the diameter and the circumference going all the way around. Some of you may have said 2, 1.5, 3, 4. I'd accept any of those answers. Now, the formula for finding the diameter of a circle is we just take the radius and double it. We'll multiply it by 2, or if you have the radius, or sorry, if you know what the diameter is, you can divide it by 2, and that'll tell you the radius. So that's the easy formulas. We'll do a little bit of practice with that now. So the diameter of a circle is 14 inches. If we want to find its radius, we start with the formula radius equals diameter divided by 2. We already know that the diameter is 14, divide it by 2, and we then have a radius of 7. Then, now we have a radius of the circle that happens to be 8 feet. What's the diameter? So we know how far it is from the center point out. It's going to be 8 feet. It's going to be another 8 feet over there. So, of course, we know that the formula is the diameter equals 2 times the radius. Then we multiply 2. Our radius is 8. And then finally, we can get a diameter of 16 when we multiply. So the diameter is 16 feet. Now, I want you to take some time here and pause the video, answer these questions, then come back when you're finished. Well, welcome back, and here are the answers. A is 11.5 centimeters, B is 6 inches, A is 8 yards, C is 8 yards, and D is 10.4. Don't know the unit, so that's why there's not a unit there. Now, another question that I have for you is, why aren't we putting squares by these things? And the answer to that is because we're not finding the space, we're walking a straight line. So we're going in straight lines from these things, and you're not measuring it with squares because we're not finding the area. This is the end of our first video. Hope you enjoyed it, and listen soon for the second.